We will all die at some point. I know some of you might think it's sad or morbid, but it just shows how much we are willing to ignore a universal truth. We will all transition to spirit at some point. So let's meditate on that a little bit. What should you do now to be as happy and fulfilled as possible when you transition into your next journey? How can you make this life, this incarnation, a real opportunity to evolve as a soul? What are the 6 lessons we all came here to learn, and the 6th being the most important one? In this video, I will also share some self-reflection prompts and journaling questions to really help you along the way. Hey beautiful soul, if you don't know me, I'm Jenna Blossoms. I'm a French spiritual teacher, a writer, also a meditation teacher, and I've been sharing for the past 10 years on social media, on books, in workshops, in retreats, mainly in the French-speaking world, and now I'm starting to share in English. And so today we're talking about the lessons we came here on this earth in this lifetime to really integrate as a soul in order for us to evolve as a human being. The first one is prepare to die. Now, I said it before, we are all going to die at some point, and so we need to acknowledge that. And I also want to talk about this with light and joy and maybe a different perspective, because it will help you make peace with the fact that this life is finite, and also to talk about it without fear, without pressure, without every heavy emotion that has been associated with the topic of death. So I'll start this video by asking you a question. Who do you want to be before you die? But also, how can I make this incarnation the best one yet, as the most wonderful opportunity to grow as a soul? And how can I make peace with the fact that this life is finite? You can take time to meditate with those questions, or my favorite thing to do is journaling with them. And when you fully surrender to the fact that this life is not infinite, to also when you let go of fear and you really tap into your inner knowledge that your soul is eternal and your experience as a divine being is infinite, then you can start to really receive some profound and wise messages. And if you want to receive all of the questions that I will be asking in this video and some additional ones to help you really in that self-reflection journey, I created a free PDF journaling prompts that you can download. I'll put the link in the description down below and in the comments. So if you're interested in that, just click on it. It's free and it's a nice tool to really reflect on those topics. The second tip is do your best and live your best life. Now that doesn't mean be the best, and that's very different. But do what you can do as much as you can. You know that if you've read the 4 Toltec agreements, you know that there is this sentence that says, always do your best. And I fully agree with that. And the thing is, be as loving as you can. Try as hard as you can achieving your dreams. Be true to your heart. Because I believe that if you were to die tomorrow, the soul would be fulfilled and happy if you were trying, if you were on the way, embarking in the journey to fulfill your dreams. And even though they're not complete yet, they're not achieved yet, what is really important is to live every day trying and being as in alignment as possible with what is really your inner essence. And again, that doesn't mean hustle all the time and don't listen to your boundaries. It's not what I'm saying at all. It's go for the things you really want. Follow your dreams. If you have been dreaming about learning guitar, go and do it. If you think really deep down you need to have that authentic conversation with your dad, do it. If you secretly wish you want to start a podcast and share your passion on it, try it. Because again, the soul doesn't care if it succeeds, if you make a lot of money out of it, if everything goes well with that conversation with your dad. The soul wants you to act upon its guidance. That's all it really wants. In her books, Regrets of the Dying, the author Bronnie Ware shares with us that the most common regret that came up, and I'm going to read it to you, in the patient in palliative care was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. And so this might be your sign to really reflect on this lesson And so today I'm asking you those two questions. What does my life look like, the one that my soul truly, truly craves? And what are the projects and dreams I wish to explore or pursue? These are really important questions. They're not just silly things that you want to pursue. They're actually the way you can connect with that soul of yours, with your true essence, and the way it's expressing itself. And living a spiritual life, living a life in alignment, means pursuing that, means honoring what is deep down there, and having the courage, being bold enough to really live the life you were meant to be. Because I want to tell you something, when you're on the other side, when your soul is reviewing the life it just had, because it will have the opportunity, you will ponder, you being the soul that will continue the journey, you will ponder, did I say yes to my heart? Did I embrace the lessons my soul needed to receive? Did I do the things that I felt called to do? Because yes, the soul can have some regrets. And this is not to put pressure or to feel guilty, but the incarnation on earth is a wonderful opportunity, and not everybody gets it. And it takes a lot of courage to go into this density, this 3D life. And so let's make the best out of it. Let's use this incarnation as the most amazing opportunities, the most amazing experience for our soul to grow, to love, to become even more compassionate, even more loving, even more in alignment with the divine. The third tip is master the art of detaching. Now, I think this one is not really likely that you'll master it in just one lifetime, right? It might take a few lives, but I think it's still worth mentioning. Practicing detachment doesn't mean you live without care, with indifference to the world, to its events, but it's understanding the impermanence of things, like material possessions, external validations, and even relationships. It is remembering and integrating that your soul is really deep down free from any sort of attachment, because they are temporary and they might be useful in our lifetime. I'm not saying don't have any attachments, because they might bring us joy, they're useful to construct a life here, to receive profound lessons, but in the end we will have to let them go. Now, if you are someone who is connected with the other side, if you can feel spirits, then you will know that some spirits, some souls that have transitioned are still very much attached to the things that were driving them in their lifetime. So if someone was extremely attached to money or to a house, to a social status, they might want to cling onto those things, and this will not help them move up into the spiritual realms, elevate them, and still continue to grow as a soul. They will still be kind of stuck, and those attachments weigh a lot on the soul. So you can ask yourself, what am I too attached to? What do I have a hard time letting go? And what do I fear if I let go of those things? The more you practice detachment in your life, and the more you really know that everything is temporary, the freer and lighter your soul will be when it's your time to transition. When you will return to spirit, you will more easily detach and let go of the body. You will come back to your spiritual nature and move on to other planes of learning. Forgiving, I want to mention it because why not try and slowly be open to forgiving people, situations, or ourselves, and generally it's the hardest thing to do, for stuff of the past. You might even want to forgive life in some cases. And this is such a gift for the soul. This is one of the biggest transformation and one of the most profound lessons that you can offer your soul as it grows in its journey. And remember that sometimes when we are incarnating, we are mutually agreeing by a sort of contract between two souls to play roles in each other's lives in order to grow. So someone who you think is your enemy or is the biggest pain in your life might be a soul that you have a contract with that has agreed, even though it's not easy, playing a difficult role in your life in order to put you into a certain position and to help you develop some soul qualities and to really push you to evolving in a way that is, I agree, very uncomfortable, but that is gonna help you understand a certain facet of the experience. And so behind your so-called enemy might be your biggest teacher in life. So the questions for this part are, who do I need to forgive, and how would that be a gift for myself and a liberation for my soul? The next tip is your spiritual legacy. This is the sort of message or vibration that you're going to leave to the people who have known you and to the world in general. I'm not saying that you have to become a superstar so that everybody remembers you 100 years from now. Not at all, but your life will have an impact whether you want it or not, because people have known you. And I'm talking as if you're already dead. Obviously you're not, but people know you and you make people feel certain things. You play your role in their life and you will have participated in the story of the world. And so I want to say, imagine you're a famous person. Even if you're not, doesn't matter. It's really a game. And imagine the news and everywhere it's written that, you know, you're dead. And so what would the titles say in the newspaper, on television? What would the world remember you as? What would they say as beautiful things about you? And ask yourself, what do I want to leave behind? How do I want to be remembered? And are there specific actions or inspirations that I would like to have shared in my lifetime on this earth? Whether you touch a few people in your life, like your family and, you know, the people you see every day, or if you touch millions of people, it absolutely doesn't matter to the soul. For the soul, it's only the intention that counts. The truth and the integrity of the actions, the devotion of the heart, the love that you authentically carry within. Maya Angelou, whom I think is really amazing, has this amazing quote. She said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And I couldn't agree more with that sentence, because when you think about people whom you have loved or just you have known that have passed away, you remember experiences, you remember faces, but deep down you remember how you were around them, how you felt around them, and maybe certain actions, decisions, or words that they said or did that truly impacted you in a beautiful way, or maybe in not the most beautiful way, but they have touched you in some way. So my question to you is, how do you want to make people feel in your life, through your work, through your everyday life? What is the message that your life is trying to send to the world? Even very humbly. And the last tip, which is definitely not the least, is to love as much as you can. This will always and forever be the main thing we as soul are supposed to grow, cultivate, and integrate more and more with every incarnation that we have. This is how we will gain access to higher realms of life. This is how we will become more conscious, more aware, and really grow, really become more intelligent in the deeper and more broad sense of the word. And if you've ever heard someone who's had an NDE, near-death experience, they will tell you in most cases that they were asked a question. And the question was, how did you love? And so I'm asking it to you now, because this is when it matters. How do you love? How deep, how true, how big do you dare to love in your life? And another question that is often asked during those experiences is, what did you do for others? And so you might think, oh, this is a very religious type of question, and maybe you feel like this is too abstract or too woo-woo, but really reflect on this question. What do you do for others? And it doesn't mean you have to do a humanitarian project or adventure. It can be, but how is your soul wanting to do things for others? How is your soul wanting to participate into the harmonization and pacification of this world? Because love, at the end of the day, is the currency of the soul. It is the way we are supposed to feel. It is the motivation, the main motor behind every action we are supposed to take, behind every project we should embark on. And the more we come back to love again and again, loving ourselves, loving others, try to love the world, even though sometimes it's hard, but see the beauty in it and try to see it as it could be as well, is, I think, one of the biggest, if not the hardest lesson we are here to learn. So these are some of the lessons that we came here to learn and to integrate on this earth. And I've asked a lot of questions in this video, and if you want to see them written down and some more so that you can dive into journaling or meditating and receive some insights from your soul, click on the link in the description below and you'll get a free journaling PDF that will help you do that. As for me, I hope this video was helpful to you and inspiring. As always, don't forget to subscribe if you've liked it, to give it a thumbs up, or to comment if you have something to share. Please support this channel if this was in any way helpful to you, and I will see you in the next video, or maybe in the journaling exercise.